It's another episode
Hey,
of the podcast.
let's see if we remember how to do this thing, because
I'm a
it's been
little
a minute.
rusty. It's been a minute. How do we do this again? Oh man, I didn't even change my icon on Discord for this episode. Fuck, I try to have a new one each episode, but I've been
I don't even,
so.
I
I
don't even
haven't.
remember.
I
I'm pretty
haven't.
sure. I'm pretty sure I had this one last time too.
Yeah, I think
It's
so.
been, it's been what, three
It's
months? We've
been.
still have the same icons.
I mean, I don't. I haven't been sitting down at my computer and using Discord like I used to in such a long time. I haven't even thought about my Discord icon. Anyway,
Okay.
how have you been? When did we record the last podcast? It feels like it's been 1,000 years.
Ah,
I've
well,
got it.
let's
I've got it
see.
right here. I've got the answer. Here we go.
We okay. So this month is a hiatus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing two chapters. So we're covering last month's and August's. So the last time we would have done this would have been
It was July
July.
21st. It was the day before my birthday.
Wow.
Crazy. July 21st. And it's currently October 20th when we're doing this. So that's a full 3 months. It's been a minute. I went to Burning Man in that time, and there's a ton I could say about that, but that's not what this show is about. But suffice to say, my what have you been up to? How was your month since last podcast has been very eventful. Um, I went to Burning Man and I put myself in credit card debt, and now I'm just working a lot constantly and
Oh
doing
man.
odd jobs to try and pay that shit off. Robin lost her job also, got laid off. Didn't know that you could just lay off a director of engineering at a fucking like pallet company, but apparently you can. So it was like the same thing that happened to my dad. Like, the fucking breadwinner in the situation, the person who has that like big salary and like a solid job, all of a sudden it's not solid and it's just gone. So there's been that. There was the burn. There's been I do contract killings now. I kill people for money. Um, it all
Okay,
happened
that
because
actually kind of segues nicely into what I've been up to because
how does that possibly segue?
because I started watching The Sopranos for the first time.
Oh, neat. That's cool. I haven't seen
Yeah,
The
I've
Sopranos
been
yet.
on
I've been
a
meaning to start that. I just want to hang on.
I've
Let me
been
finish
on
my joke about my contract killing job. The thing
okay.
is that I'm an amateur videographer. I do recording of like concerts and shows, especially for my friend KT Gibson. And so it all started as a misunderstanding when I said that I could shoot for them. And then they thought, it's just a classic, like, hilarious misunderstanding situation. But yeah, it's very lucrative. It's a growth industry.
Wait, so did you show up with a camera and there were a bunch of guys standing around with
Oh
guns?
yeah, and I
And
had to
you're like,
improvise big
whoa,
time.
whoa, wait a minute, guys.
I had to improvise. I had to figure that one out. That was tough. I
What
almost didn't make it out.
you should have given them the old Mike Ehrmantraut pimento bit.
What are you carrying? Fucking Nikon D5300. Ha, that's funny. What are you really packing? Nikon D5300. It's a fantastic starter DSLR. Like I just start explaining like Mike does his sandwich.
Yeah, but I've been on a mob TV kick because like I started watching The Penguin, which is basically Sopranos, but in Gotham.
Yeah, I saw a little clip of that. There's this guy that I work for. His name's Ted. And I joked to Brennan yesterday that he'd be perfect to play the Penguin. Like, he's already got the body and face for it. No prosthetics required.
Yeah, it's a weird choice that they made going with Colin Farrell. Did you know that like the prosthetics and the makeup that he puts on are like so heavy that it gets so hot in there that between takes, he'll just go and sit in a tent that's like super cooled to like Arctic temperatures. So like
That's
he actually
crazy.
becomes a penguin.
Oh my god. That's so funny. He actually becomes a penguin. He's waddling over there, wink, 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 sitting in the Arctic, like, this feels like home. That's awesome. So yeah, you've been on a mob show kick. So you got the penguin in your veins, and then you're like, fuck, man, I could use some Sopranos in there too.
Well, yeah, I like it's a because you know the two big shows that you always hear talk about are like Breaking Bad and Sopranos as like the golden age of like crime TV, right?
Right, platinum age even.
And so like
That and The Wire.
I loved Breaking Bad, so I'm like, okay, let's give this Sopranos thing a check. And it's so good, man. It's so good.
How deep into it are you?
I am. So I just finished season 3.
How many are there? 5?
Uh, I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, the thing is, I absolutely want to start
6
watching that
seasons.
as well. 6
There are
seasons.
6
Fuck
seasons.
yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful amount of seasons for a show like that to have. Love a 5 or 6 season show. If you said 8, it would be a different feeling, but 5 and 6 is like a great amount. And if you said 3, I'd be like, oh man, you know. I haven't even watched a frame of it yet, but I would be disappointed if there were only 3 seasons.
Oh, it's like that old that's like that old refrain goes, 6 seasons in a movie.
6 seasons and a movie. When is that fucking Community movie coming out?
I have no idea, man. I don't know.
Bumber. I mean, like, I hope that shit's coming out. It got hella delayed by the damn writer's strike last year, which I was, like, in support of. Like, okay, yeah, delay that shit. Like,
Well,
let's get better
but the other
conditions
thing
for
is,
everybody. No AI.
but the other thing is, I've been really hitting the writing recently.
Oh, yeah?
And I actually have, I got feedback from a couple people, and I think so once the whole framework of this thing is ready, I think I'm going to be ready to publish my first chapter pretty soon.
Oh, fuck yeah. Awesome. I've watched you experiment with creative writing projects for a while now, but none of it has ever really like gotten to the published stage. So that's really cool to hear that you're like that confident in it and you're gonna finally put some shit out. Because you've been in the lab grinding for a minute.
Yeah.
I think about that Infinite Hitler's cloning machine from the Department of Anomalies like once a week. I think that's so funny. That's so brilliant. Your mind is so expanded. You got to share this stuff you're writing with people.
This is a bit of a different flavor. It's a superhero story.
Oh no, I know. I know you're working on this now instead of Department of Anomalies and stuff. But I'm just saying, like, I have been exposed, ladies and gentlemen of the podcast listening world. I've been exposed to this man's great ideas, and I think you should definitely check out the shit he's about to publish because he's written some really cool shit before.
So now,
Talented guy.
now that I've put that out there, the ball's in my court, and I got to make sure that I publish that before we record next time, so I can tell you all about it and where to go and find that.
Right. Fuck yeah. Oh, hey, one more thing about The Sopranos. The Sopranos has a very minor role in a favorite YouTube video of mine. It's by Cybershell. I don't know if you know Cybershell. Makes a lot of videos about like Sonic and shit and like cut content and whatever. He's pretty cool. He like disappears for a year and then comes back with a video and then disappears for a long time again. But yeah, Cybershell has a video wherein the video opens and he's talking about like Sonic CD, like the secrets in Sonic CD. The video opens and he is like, now, before the video continues, I must inform you that you're going to need to watch all of the hit show The Sopranos before continuing the video. Now, the video doesn't have anything to do with The Sopranos. You are simply not allowed to continue watching until you've experienced the show. He's like, there's no spoilers in this video about Sonic CD. You are simply not allowed. You have to go watch The Sopranos first. You can pause the video now and go watch it and then come back if you want. And then a moment of silence, and he's like, "Oh, you're back. How was it? Pretty good, right? You're welcome." And then we just continue for a video about Sonic that has nothing to do with The Sopranos for like 40 minutes. And it's a really good gag.
Wow.
You
And
are
that
simply not
reminds me,
allowed.
like, there was another factor that influenced my decision to start watching The Sopranos now, and that's this YouTuber Beat Rice. I think I've showed you some of his videos before, or maybe you looked them up on your own.
Beat
He's the
Rice.
guy.
He makes the Better
He's the
Call
guy who
Saul tier lists. The episode tier list. It's
yes,
like 6 hours long for season 6.
the Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul tier lists.
True. I discovered him when he
so
was like on, I think the season 4 Better Call Saul tier list was the most recent one out. And so then I hit sub, and then I watched the 5 and 6 ones when they came out as well. I like that guy. That was a win for the YouTube algo.
So his current project is the tier list for The Sopranos season 1.
Oh fuck yeah, he's working on that now?
Well, he's working on that. So I'm watching The Sopranos in preparation for the tier lists to follow.
Hey, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
he put out read by the time they drop.
He put out a teaser, which was basically the first episode.
Sweet. Fuck yeah. Yeah, I think I saw him do that, but because I haven't seen The Sopranos, I didn't really like lock it in as a thing I needed to watch. Because like if I was gonna, I would want to have actually experienced the episode myself first. Maybe I'll start watching The Sopranos. That'd be cool. We could do like a little book club. We could have something to talk about next episode.
Yeah.
Speaking of having stuff to talk about, it's a whole new chapter of JoJo. There's 2 of them. Oh, that's 17.
2 new chapters of JoJo.
18 and then 19. So yeah, chapter 18, we got a sweet Ultra Jump cover, and then the chapter cover, which the audience has been looking at for a minute now. So I'm just gonna hit next.
Very yellow. We got the Banana Crew here.
Wait, this is 18, right? Okay. Wait, we already did this 8. One. Right?
Did we? No.
Well, the one where everyone gets shot in the face. Oh, okay. Yeah.
We left off last time with everybody getting shot in the face.
Right. Yeah. See, I confused myself because I posted about it in our group chat, but we didn't do a podcast on the events of chapter 18 yet. So chapter 17 lets off, and the bullets are moving, and they're moving real slow. And then, boom, next chapter opens up. We're getting hit by the bullets. One of the bullets is burrowing and rotating and drilling into Jodio's cheek. And the way that he solves this... Okay, alright, well, we don't solve it yet. He's just getting a bullet in his face. We cut to Bobby Jean and
meanwhile we cut to this Pulp Fiction-esque conversation.
Yeah, this is a weird, quirky Tarantino dialogue moment. Bobby Jean, I want to be your baby. Adopt me, please. I'll be good. He's like, Lulu, I don't know about that. I have 3 kids and a wife, and also like, I would kick your ass if you were my kid. You're behaving like shit. I actually don't like you at all. And she's like, what? He's like, it's the truth. I bought you those things because we're together for work. Didn't you buy me those things because you love me? Nope. Bobby Jean is like, honestly, you're like a shitty kid. I would not want you. It's pretty brutal, pretty rough.
This so reminds me of like the Boingo whole horse dynamic.
Yeah. Or Whole Horse is just like so much more worldly and experienced, and Boingo is a literal child who's just not meant for all this shit. The thing is, though, I'm pretty sure that this girl's a rock human. Because, like, she's talking about, I don't have parents of my own. I want to know what it's like to be in a family. Like, she was not raised by people. She was, like, raised by bees, like a rock human, you know? Like, she definitely just, like, came out of the fucking thing. You know what I mean? Came out of the
Yeah, but
cocoon or whatever.
don't rock humans come out like fully formed at like an adult age?
Okay, but, like, you don't think there's room in the strange biology of these silicone-based life forms that possibly one can come out small and cute, you know?
Was poor Tom a rock human? I forget.
Uh, no, because when he died, he didn't get rocky. I'm
Okay.
going to open up the chapter where he gets shot in the head just to make sure, because I have it all right here. JOJOLian.
I'm pulling up the JoJo wiki to check too.
Tua. Uh-huh. No. You see, now this is too far. This isn't what I need.
Yeah, there's nothing rocky about him when he dies.
He doesn't get rocks at all.
Poor Tom is a rock human, but his youth is unknown, according to the background on the JoJo wiki.
What chapter does the fight take place in? Because I think I might be missing it. That doesn't make any sense, though, right?
Let's see. It's chapter 70 through 76.
Okay, so
The fight proper, I believe, starts. I think we get our first look at him. Okay, so I'm looking at the manga appearances.
okay, so I'm missing chapters, dude, in my JoJolian because like chapter 65, the plant appraiser appears part 1, chapter 66 is that part 2. Yeah, and then that's the end of what I have for JoJolian is chapter like 66. And then what I have the rest of it is it picks back up at chapter 87. So
Here, I'll drop the panel. I'll drop the panel where he dies. But
okay.
according to JoJo wiki, he is a rock human. I don't know where they revealed that.
Huh. So that's the panel where he dies. He doesn't look rocky at all. And also, what even killed him? You know, whose power was
Well,
that?
he got shot
With a gun?
with a gun.
Who shot him? No, I'm really asking. Was it Wu Tomaki? Like, there's not that many people in that van. And when we cut to the inside of the van, it doesn't look like anybody had a sniper rifle on them, bro.
Due to his pursuit of an ally inside the ambulance with Wu Tomaki, their stand ability brought about poor Tom's demise. So I guess it was some high-speed projectile flung backwards from the van.
It was Calamity. It's everything in JoJolian. It can be excused with... No, sorry, the Forces of Calamity did that. Whatever. Yeah, but it turns out I actually have a big gap in my downloaded JoJolians, so that's not good. I guess I deleted some stuff at some point and didn't realize that I was leaving, like, a fucking 20-chapter gap. It's so fucked up.
Well, them's the breaks.
These are the breaks. Break it up, break it up, break it up. That's the thing we've been doing at work a lot. We've been doing Curtis Blow's The Breaks. You know that song?
No.
Clap your hands, everybody, if you've got what it takes. Because I'm Curtis Blow, and I want you to know that these are the breaks. And then the fucking... The fucking sweet guitar kicks in. Then he says, brakes on the bus, brakes on the car, brakes to make you a superstar. It's like one of those real early rap songs that, like, I cannot believe anyone ever thought this was good rapping. But it's really, really good. And the fucking, these are the brakes. We keep saying that to each other at work.
Released as a single in June 1980.
Mm-hmm. It's real early rap music. Like, it's right at the dawn of what you could even listen to and say that this resembles modern rap in some way. But, like, anytime, like, we're at work and, like, there's a part in the song where it's like, just you got a way too expensive phone bill. That's the brakes. That's the brakes. With 18 phone calls to Brazil. That's the brakes. So we always, like, some shit isn't working at work. Like, we're trying to plug in the projector and it's not, like, doing it right. And we're like, when the HDMI won't connect, that's the brakes. That's the brakes. Like, we keep doing our own verses and shit.
Well, it sounds like Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, honestly.
Whenever something's annoying at work, like I can't get the fucking base plates to go into the base plate cart right, I'm complaining about it. I'm like, God, this is just fucking bullshit. Mateo will come by and go, these are the brakes. It's fantastic. So, you know, I just I keep that in my heart. I keep that close by. So you're telling me something in JoJolian can be explained by, oh, the wonder if you did it with Calamity? These are the brakes. That's just how it goes. It's not surprising to me in the slightest.
That's just the way it is.
That's just the way it is. Some things will never change. All right. Getting the bullet drilled into his face. Next, the conversation with Bobby Jean and Lulu. And then, this is what I want to fucking talk about. We've identified one of them. His appearance matches Paco Lavlantis, age 19. He has military experience and had a dishonorable discharge. As for the others, they're probably still minors. Right, so they're not over 18. Or, I think Dragona's 18, but not in the military, so, like, you couldn't search them up that easily. You know, they're kids. But, like, this is fucking awesome. This is a payoff to the shit that we were told in chapter fucking 1. That there was something that happened with Paco. Paco left school for a year, and he was fat, but he came back ripped. And I was like, he encountered a devil's palm out there, which he still might have, but the fact that he actually went and served in the military and then had a dishonorable discharge, and then, like, that's the picture of Paco in the military, like, totally featureless. Yeah. I actually love that.
Now I kind of want like a flashback.
Yes, me too. In the military,
where we see him get his stand.
Yes.
And that probably him using his stand and by accident or on purpose on like some corrupt superior officer or whatever is probably what got him the dishonorable discharge.
Yes, I think it might be a situation like, whose backstory was it? Was it Mountain Tim or Valentine or whatever, where their backstory was like they were part of a unit traversing the desert of Arizona, and like everyone else in the unit died when they made it to the Devil's Palm. They passed through the Devil's Palm without knowing it, and everybody else in the unit died except for him. I think we might get a little bit of that style of stuff with Paco, and then like his stand ability, his ability to not get killed by the stand reckoning forces of the Devil's Palm, but instead come out with an ability, probably saved his life. And then it might be a situation where it looks bad that you're the only one who lived. What the fuck did you do? And he's like, I didn't do anything. I just survived. And so they discharged him just based on...
could be something like that as well, yeah.
Yeah. So that's my, like, headcanon, but I really, really, really want a fucking flashback. Like, that would be great if we could get a little bit of Paco in the military in the comic. I would be down for that.
This is a really interesting way to do it because, like, this is a breadcrumb, right? And it's like, oh, now I really want the actual scene.
Yeah.
I want the context for this.
Yes, I do. All right, so next page. Well, I mean, Bobby Jean's like, we gotta go and make sure they've died. We might find ourselves a sea of blood. All right, so everyone's getting shot by these fucking bullets. Dragona has avoided most of them. Fucking Paco took a bunch for everyone. Charming Man's hit in the neck. The bullets are going slow. Ah! It's about to hit him in the fucking eyeball, but then he gets yanked. Charming Man pulls him down away from the bullet that was about to hit him in the eyeball, and it goes right over his head. They're pushing their way in. Dragona, you got to use your smooth operators. 6 of them are hitting me. So he took bullets for the whole gang. But these are like slow bullets that push in slowly. They're slowly digging into me. Hurry, pull them out. Dragona sends the smooth operators in there. They get the bullets out. Charming Man, big mouth strikes again. I really love when Araki writes letters in English. Like, he does it so cool. Like, look at the way the T and the H are interacting in mouth. He writes it so fucking cool. But yeah, big mouth strikes again. He dismantles his neck, which is fucked up because I guess he's just Wu Tomiki now. Like, doesn't he do illusions? Like, can't he like refract light and like become completely indistinguishable from the sky and a bird and a cloud? Like, I wanted that. I wanted him to be Tsurugi, but it seems like he's Wu Tomiki.
He does. Well, he does do that. He did that when they were sneaking into the records office. You know, so that yes, when they were, because he did that to his face so that he couldn't be ID'd.
I'm going back
with the fake ID.
The fake ID.
Remember Barack Obama?
Barack Obama, yeah, I guess so. Huh. That was such a while ago. I dead ass completely forgot. Yeah. Because I was thinking about when yeah, Barack Obama, sure.
Like in defense of this is like you know, I see it as like it's the illusions are like an application of the ability, and this is just the more combat oriented version. Because like he's already under attack.
The illusions thing seemed pretty fucking combat oriented when he was using it against our heroes and stabbing Dragona in the neck.
Well, yeah, but what are you gonna do when the bullet's already hitting you?
This. You're right. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do this exact move.
The bullet doesn't care if it can't see you.
I guess. I don't know. I kind of wanted more from this power. It just seems like he's Wu Tomiki now, which is fine, I guess. Anyway,
he's better Wu Tomiki.
He's literally better Wu Tomiki. That's true.
He's Wu Tomiki with potential.
He's Wu Plus. You got to pay your Wu Tomiki Plus subscription. All right. So I think this is a really cool scene though, because we're seeing how everybody deals with the bullets hitting them. So obviously Paco is like hustling and making his flesh harder, so they stop sooner. Dragona got guarded by the rest of the team and is using smooth operators on Paco, who took most of the bullets. Charming Man is dismantling his neck so the bullet can just go straight through it. Jodio got hit in the face and chooses to simply open his mouth and let the bullet come out his mouth instead of going through the other cheek, which I think is pretty cool. Oh, but he November Rains it also. You noticed this? I didn't even notice this until just now. He makes November Rains in his mouth.
Yeah, I see that, yeah.
That's crazy. He can do it inside his own body. That's a pretty useful feature because like before he did it sort of like he dropped a single droplet of rain down Dragona's throat.
I think he's what he's actually doing is he's using the November Rain to counterspin the bullet to slow it down, so that way he can just spit it out.
I honestly think he's like deflecting it. You know what I mean? Like it hits this wall of rain and then it changes its trajectory.
Oh yeah, that could be what I'm seeing. Yeah,
because he's like, it seems to boom, it pops out the other way. It doesn't seem like it slowed to a stop and then he spit it. I think it bounced off of the hardness of the November Rain.
I think we see him use that exact technique later again.
Yeah, yes we do. That next chapter is fucking awesome. I want to talk about that one. The bullets are flying slowly. Is this the work of a pursuer, a stand user? Where'd they shoot from? They came down from that way. Does this mean somebody figured out who we are and they're after us? Anyone see what happened? Something wrong? You all right? No, we're good. We're good. Go take care of the other patients. These bullets aren't automatic pursuer type. Someone was able to track us. They got to us already. This makes me feel hopeful. It means that something of monetary value is already gathering towards the lava rock. The enemy is pursuing us because they've realized they're losing assets. True. The enemy faithfully went white as a ghost when they saw how much money they lost. And this is $50 billion worth of land we're talking about. If something of that value is moving right now, it means it's moving towards us. Howler, huh? There's two of them here. A Howler pursuer and this guy with the automatic pursuit lesion stand. So, this is very simple. It seems like these abilities are complicated and crazy, but it's actually extremely simple. There's one enemy with a direct combat stand who can just shoot you dead. And there's one enemy with an indirect combat stand that is like going to do damage over time to your insides. So there's one direct battle and there's one puzzle. Perfect combination of stand users. It's the platonic ideal of a stand user duel. You want one of them that's more of a direct physical attacker and then one that's a little bit more indirect and weird. For example, Clash and Talking Heads. It's perfect. Perfect example.
It's the DPS debuffer combo.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. DPS and a debuffer. That's a perfect way to put it. All right. Next page. He's still in the process of making an MRI with the Mate Kudasai. DNA, NDA, non-disclosure agreement, deoxyribonucleic acid, MRI, man's a real idiot. Yeah, he's losing his fucking mind. His brain's getting completely fried.
The brain rot's getting to him.
Yeah. Oh my god, wait, look at the MRI. Have you noticed it has the Mate Kudasai's eyes on it? It's a giant... Wait, so this means our prediction is correct. Do you remember when we were saying the Mate Kudasai was getting bigger? Like, it was in the size of his palm of his hand now, and now it's like the size of a Brahma chicken, and we were like, wouldn't it be funny if it just kept getting bigger until it was like kaiju sized? That means we're right. Our prediction's correct. That's the biggest fucking Mate Kudasai we've seen so far.
They're gonna use the Mate Kudasai as a hideout. I just know it. That's what I'm calling.
I really need Usagi to survive this arc because I need them to use the Mate Kudasai as so many other things, just so we can see its design being turned into those things. For example,
they're gonna make it become a fake building that they're gonna hide out in.
That's the punchline. That's like the escalation of it. But like, I want it to become like a skateboard. I want it to become a car. I want it to become a plane. I want it to become a sword. I want it to become a gun. I just want to see all of these objects designed as the Mate Kudasai imitation of their forms. That'd be really cool. I would love that shit. A plane specifically would be incredible.
But he's got to survive this arc first.
Yeah, he's got to survive this arc first. You're right. There's no shot we're going to see any of his wonderful designs if he's not going to make it past this. The brain rot's getting to him.
Dude,
he's at his limit. We got to heal him fast.
A stand being able to turn into a plane would be the strongest ability in JoJo. Think about it.
Right. And like,
how
that's
do you
a magic
crash
plane.
A stand?
Right, that's a magic plane. It's not even susceptible to plane logic. It's not even susceptible to the same rules and bullshit as normal planes. And you know what? This is JOJOLands. This is the time that we're going to see one of the JoJos land instead of crash. I mean, I guess we already did see that. It was off screen, but they successfully took a plane somewhere.
Yeah, twice as a matter of fact.
True. How the fuck is all this unimpeded air travel happening in JoJo? That's not supposed to be what happens. Well, it's because we're in JOJOLands. It's not called JoJo Crashes.
In the post-9/11 world?
In this economy? Oh, man, that reminds me. I have like a bunch of hilarious 9/11 jokes I have saved for the podcast, but it almost doesn't feel right to do them without Casey here. Maybe we'll save those. Oh, yeah, Casey, jeez. Do you remember last episode when we said that he died on the way back to his home planet?
Yeah.
He's dead. He stayed dead. He stayed dead. He died on the way back to his home planet.
Yeah, Casey couldn't join us because he's busy getting his ass kicked by a hurricane.
Well, that's what killed him on the way back to his home planet. He encountered a space typhoon. I'm trying to set it up for the audience that he's dead, so that when he comes back on the show, it's like he is risen.
Like Jesus, he'll come back after 3 episodes.
So the second half of last episode was 1. This is 2, and on the third day, he is risen. All right. He is risen, like he's got riz, and on the third day, he is risen.
This is how you start a religion.
A rizligion. A risen. A rijizza. The jizza and the rizza. Wu-Tang. Did you ever see this is my favorite Chappelle Show sketch. It's the racial draft. Did you ever see this one?
I think I've seen that, yeah.
Well, it's like the Asian people and black people are both trying to draft Tiger Woods, you know? And it's just like that joke, but in several other ways. Like, OJ is officially white, you know? Blah, blah, blah. My favorite bit in the whole thing.
The Wu-Tang Clan?
No! My favorite thing at the very end is that the Asian delegation pulls a fast one and drafts the entire Wu-Tang Clan. They're officially Asian now. The Asian guy goes up there to the microphone and he says, "We, the Asian delegation, choose the RZA, the Jizza, Ghostface Killer, the Wu-Tang Clan!" And then everybody in the Asian delegation in the audience is doing the fucking like Wu-Tang shit with their hands, the W. And it cuts to Bill Burr, and he's like, "Oh my god, a tremendous upset. What a fast one they just pulled, drafting the entire Wu-Tang Clan." And then they get up there, and they're like, "Konnichiwa, bitches. We're Asian now. Thank you. We're glad to be here." It's pretty good.
Man.
It's my favorite one. Anyway, somebody should draft me. It sucks being nationalityless. I know what you're going to say. Aren't your grandparents British? Yeah, but who cares? Functionally, I'm not any British at all, or whatever dad is. He's adopted. We don't know. We don't have anything, man. It sucks being a cultureless blob. You know, I wish I could just be like Italian or some shit. Or Irish. Fuck, I would take like Somalian just to have some sort of identity. Got nothing. Just American. Bummer. At least I can do 9/11 jokes. That's a small comfort, which I will take.
That's our
You can't say that. That's our word.
That's our cultural benefits.
Yeah, that's what you get. Like when you had the character select screen, like racial trait, like pure American can make 9/11 jokes. All right, it's enough of that. We're scanning the inside of Usagi's brain. I'm flashing it on screen. I'm flashing the back to the chapter. Start by scanning the inside of Usagi's brain. Jodio and I will stand guard. The enemy fired off 12 shots without us noting. The shooter's using a silencer. They recovered the cartridges. I only heard 1 shot. Bullets moved toward us slowly. More than enough to kill anything that moves. How did I miss that? How did I not do that?
I caught it.
12 shots. This time I've got 12 shots. That's crazy. How did I miss that? Beautiful Revolver Ocelot Metal Gear reference here. Bullets move toward us slowly, allowing them to kill everybody without anyone realizing where they were shot from. That's their stand. They might be able to control the speed of the bullets. This is pretty cool because it's very clear that, like, Paco is the oldest and the most experienced in combat, so he sort of takes on a natural leader role in these, like, high-stress somebody's gonna die situations. But then Jodio always speaks up as well. He's like, they might be able to control the speed of the bullets. And then this panel on the next page, with these two panels of Jodio and Paco right next to each other. Like, these are our combat leaders. Like, Dragona might be on paper the leader for like plan making, you know what I mean? But like Paco and Jodio are the combat leaders.
These are the field tacticians.
These are your warlords. These are your generals. Dragona is the liege lord. These are the warlords. You think they'll come back to this hallway? They must have fired their shots and then went off somewhere. You can bet on it. They didn't finish us off. Even if they fled, they should still be hiding out somewhere. Yeah, so I really like these moments when Jodio and Paco are talking over like their assumptions of what the enemy is thinking, what they'll do, what our next move is, because neither of them have a complete picture. Like, every once in a while, one of them will go like, oh, good point, didn't think about that. Like, that's something we got to consider that I wouldn't have if I was on my own. So, like, they kind of need each other to both together be, like, the warlord for the team. But I'm going to be sad when Paco dies. Because, I mean, the only way we're going to get that flashback is if his ass is getting killed. But I guess Jodio's going to have to learn from him and embody him even after he's gone.
This goddamn elevator, man. This is like the iconic location for this arc.
Yeah, it's kind of like the chairlift for...
everybody's just coming in and out of the elevator the whole fight.
Right. It reminds me a lot of the chairlift from... Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do, and guy who gets a fork shot into his face by Mamazuku disassembling his arm into a crossbow.
Right, yeah.
What's that guy's name? His stand is called Brain Drain or something?
Brain damage.
Brain damage. But the
freeze,
one that's a tank underground is Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do.
Well, his name is Urban Gorilla, I think.
Urban Gorilla! No, Urban Gorilla is the guy who gets shot in the face.
What the fuck is his stand's name?
Called like Brain Drain or something.
Brainstorm. We tried every existing combination before we got there.
We've tried nothing, and we're all out of ideas.
Yeah, the guy who got the fork in the eye is Urban Gorilla, and his stand is Brainstorm.
You're right. It is Brainstorm. And then I was right about Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do.
Brainstorm is a really cool design.
It is, and yet it's very nothing. It makes holes in you. Great.
Yeah.
You know, like, I get it's visually interesting to draw if you have trypophobia. What is that? What's the fear of holes? Is it trypophobia?
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of how,
yeah,
you know, the alternate dimension clones interact with Valentine's stand.
Huh.
You remember how like they
speak on that?
Well, they turn into those they turn like spongy, like the Menger sponges or whatever they're called, before they disappear.
Whoa, I don't remember this at all. Let me pull up part 7.
When Diego's head is used to kill alternate Dio.
Okay, well, I'll just pull that up because that's right at the end. Here. I'm letting the audience see what I'm doing as well. God, Steel Ball Run was so well drawn. It's incredible. Incredible how fucking good it is. Is this still the peak of JoJo? Are we ever going to pass this? Part 8 tried. It almost got there, but it didn't stick to landing.
Oh, by the way, Zoe, big news.
What's up?
Did you see? Did you see that Viz Media is finally doing their English translation of Steel Ball Run?
No, I did not see this. That's awesome.
Which means if you're a JoJo fan who doesn't speak Japanese, it's now legal to like Part 7.
Yeah! Yes! It's legal to like Part 7, boys. Pop the champagne. Fuck yeah.
Yay!
It sucks because, like... Oh! Yeah! Yes! It sucks because, like, all the cool illegal stuff that I do and like is now just, like, becoming normal stuff that everybody else does and is allowed. So I feel like a little bit less of a cool outlaw now. Hey, wait, can you... Okay, sorry.
Does this actually show it at all? I don't remember. I don't think it actually shows the effect that I was talking about with alternate Diego's death.
It does not. He does not become spongy.
Where was the... Huh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, he did. Well, he did this to himself. Hang on. Let me pull this page up.
Oh, this goes so fucking hard. Oh, okay. This is for sure. This is exactly brain drain, brainstorm, brain freeze, brain fart. Yeah, this is very much brainstorm.
Oh, it looks like the effect shows up with Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. Dude, I'm at the part right now where Johnny is like debating whether or not to believe Valentine, and he tosses him the gun.
Hold on, let me get this panel for you.
This goes so hard. Pick up the gun,
There you
Valentine.
go. Yeah, see how they're becoming the sponges?
Uh-huh. I see. Indeed, this is very brain drain, brainstorm. Why do I keep calling it that? Yeah, so this is the same pattern that appeared on Valentine's face.
Yeah. I don't remember the context for the Valentine one, though.
Me neither, but he's talking to Diego, so something must be happening.
Man, I'm so stoked for the Part 7 anime, because I'm going to get to re-experience the part and actually remember some stuff. It feels like Part 7 was so long ago.
Yeah, I mean, it started in, what, 2003? God, this shit is amazing. And Part 7 culminating with, like, an old-school Wild West quick draw pistol duel. Like, Valentine's trying to draw his gun faster than Johnny can shoot him. So fucking cool. This rules. This part is so good. It's incredible. I cannot wait for this shit to be animated. I mean, I already know what's gonna happen though. Is that I'm gonna be like, it was better in the manga. I don't even really need it to be animated. What I need is for Part 8 to be animated so that we can.
But yeah, the Menger sponge effect is gonna look so cool animated.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy looking.
Because the idea is like each of those squares grows and splits into different squares and until there's nothing left.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna look so great.
In motion, yeah. Fuck yeah. It's gonna be crazy looking. Sorry, I'm just reading Part 7 now. This is the fucking greatest shit Rocky ever wrote. I just went nonverbal. I was looking at the amazingness of that part 2 parts ago. Sorry.
That's alright, I get it.
Alright, we're back on 9 now. Usagi's inside of the MRI. Usagi, don't move. Do your best to stay perfectly still. Kind, kindred dude. We got images. Here's the first one. Close the door. MRI. Bringing metal close to it can be dangerous. Dragona's got metal on her fucking wristbands. Why is Charming Man not helping? He's just like calmly explaining what's happening while Dragona's getting super fucking stuck on the door. The wire is caught too. the bra wire. The wire in the bra is caught too. That's funny.
This is like the comedy relief section.
I know, like what the fuck is happening? And then the cart also goes into the... Well, because the thing is, the MRI is not supposed to be there. That's not a room that's supposed to have an MRI in it. It's the wrong size. So it's like doing all sorts of magnetic resonance bullshit. It should have more space around it, but it doesn't. It's like taking up the entire room. Normally these things have like a bunch of space between them and the walls, but it's just right up against it.
Dude, there's a wasp trying to get into my window, which is right to my right, and it's so loud when it bumps against it.
Oh, fuck.
That's crazy.
Single-minded determination of a wasp trying to get in what appears to him, a force field.
It's not even that big a wasp. It's just really loud when it hits.
Determined. Locked
Very
the fuck
strange.
in. Admirable, even. If only I could be that locked in. Let him in. He deserves it. He's earned it.
I can't even open the window. There's a screen.
You can punch a hole in that. He deserves it. He's
Oh,
earned
no,
it.
no, no,
Let him in.
no.
Let him in.
Introduce a little chaos.
Hey, if you're cold, they're cold. You know, like the thing about your dog or whatever.
But
if
it's
you're
warmer
cold,
outside.
they're cold.
But it's warmer outside.
Well, then maybe he wants some AC. Alright, enough about the stupid fucking wasp. One of the greatest panels in the whole part so far is coming up next. Bing! The elevator opens. The lady, the old lady, and other lady in the elevator. You stay here, Jodio. I'm gonna go check the first floor. He gets in, sees Bobby Jean. They're holding hands with Lulu. Everyone's staring at each other. This is very. Have you ever seen Rocky Horror?
No.
Oh, well, I'm a big into that now. I got into that at Burn. There was like a whole thing. They were doing Rocky Horror at Burn. We just bumped into it after midnight on Friday. It was cool. We didn't even know it was happening. But so I'm big into that now. There's a scene where, you know, the classic, they parody it in Shrek 2, where it's like the fucking, everyone's saying each other's names, you know?
Oh yeah, I saw that scene.
You know that bit where it's like, Janet, Dr. Scott, Brad, Rocky, and then Rocky looks wordlessly. And so when you go to Rocky Horror screenings, everyone's always yelling shit at the screen. You know, like they're making up new lyrics to the songs. They're like doing jokes, like they're saying stuff over and in between the characters' lines, so it seems like the characters are responding to the joke they just made. It's a whole rowdy, raucous affair. But, you know, so when the fucking, whenever he says, Rocky! And it shows Rocky's face, and he wordlessly turns his head, because he's like a big bodybuilder man who doesn't speak, everyone in the audience yells, Bullwinkle! Every single time. And it's great. They go around. They do like 3 rounds of this. And so this, to me, is that. Bobby Jean, Paco, Lulu, Paco, Jodio, Bobby Jean! Like, they're just all looking at each other in sequence. I love this.
And yet, no recognition among any of them.
No, Lulu is sweating. She recognizes what's happening.
Yeah, Lulu's panicking. Bobby Jean's totally chill, and Jodio and Paco don't know what the fuck is going on.
Bobby Jean's focused on keeping his gun out of the sight of what appears to be civilians in the elevator with them. He's not worried about shit except, let me just keep this thing behind my back real quick. But then we hit next and we get one of the dopest fucking panels in the whole part so far. This where he's holding the gun behind his back and Paco and Jodio are just standing there completely unawares.
Oh, yeah.
Gun behind the back panel goes so hard.
It's very Die Hard.
Yeah, yes it is. For sure. All right, and then they walk out of the elevator without incident. They're still doing shit over there at the MRI. Bobby Jean, what the hell's going on here? They're still alive. The bullets, they're marked, but the people defended against them. There's no sea of blood. We'll have to carefully take out each of them one by one. And then he's in the elevator. There's a ton of bullets all of a sudden. That sound just now. Those two that just got off. So only he knows who the enemies are. And this is so fucking cool. Paco is such a survivor. He elbows the wall of the elevator to break it and then hustles it into some armor for himself that most of, but not all of the bullets can hit instead of hitting him. And then he's screaming.
Amazing. That's an amazing strategy.
It's so cool. He might have my favorite stand out of the main cast. Like, Paco wins again this week in terms of, remember when we were talking about, like, we should be deciding each chapter who was our favorite character of the main five, and Paco.
It's like the pinned post on my Mastodon says, the hustle has no weaknesses.
The hustle has no weaknesses, not yet at least, not any that we've been able to see. But this is where the chapter ends. He's falling down the elevator shaft. And he's got the fucking armor around him. He's screaming to Jodio. This is those two that look like a father and daughter. Bouncing off of him. They're right in front of you. He crashes all the way down. Cut back to Dragona. Charming man, we're not going to make it. We need to head into his body soon or he's done for. Don't move Usagi's body. It's not done taking photos. MFF. My friends forever. He's taking a turn for the worse. The brain rot's really hitting. We cut outside to this douchebag who's like the guy who told Howler all his money was getting seized last chapter, and he's like really getting off on it, and he gets out of the car like, okay, I'm gonna go in and get my stomach prescription, and the fucking elevator falls and the bullet hits him dead, and the deed and his iPad are laying there on the ground. To be continued. That's the first chapter we're covering today. What did we think about it?
Yeah, this ending feels like, the same mechanisms by which they're stealing the land have also kept the main villain Howler in the game.
Right. And I think that this is either impeding our characters' plans or like playing right into them. Like, now the deed's on the ground. Now it can just blow away in the wind, Whether this is impeding our characters' plans or playing into them, this is all a part of making that outcome happen. For sure. And it might be necessary that Howler stays on the game board for a while longer. But
yeah. I'm really interested in seeing, because like if it's necessary for Howler to stay in the game for their plans to come to fruition, I'm interested in seeing what role he'll ultimately play in his own downfall.
Right. That very well could be the reason his piece needs to stay on the game board, because there's like a critical mistake he needs to make that is gonna make all of this really happen for us. Because I mean, like, if you get him out of the picture, probably just a bigger, meaner, smarter asshole replaces him. So it might be advantageous to have this, like, Nepo baby idiot be the main villain instead of somebody smarter and better, right?
Yeah. It's like one of the prevailing theories on why you don't go back in time and kill Hitler.
Right. Something worse is going to happen.
Because maybe then Germany wins World War II.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually want the villain, the big bad guy making the decisions on the enemy team, to be kind of an idiot. It's really good for us. We need that. We're counting on it. But yeah, this reminds me a lot of, you know what it reminds me of actually? The Suicide Squad 2021. When fucking Bloodsport drops down through every single floor of the building that crumbles beneath him. And he drops down just in time to see John Cena Peacemaker about to shoot Ratcatcher in the face that he has a father-daughter thing going on with. And he doesn't even ask, What's going on? Why are you threatening a member of the team? What the fuck?
It's on site.
It's on site. No hesitation. He draws and shoots. Smaller bullet. So this kind of reminds me of that. The falling down through the whole building just to shoot one critical bullet and nail him. This reminds me of that.
Yeah.
All right, well, next chapter then, I guess.
Moving on to the next chapter.
Hey, can we actually... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead first.
Oh, I was going to say, can we just take like a quick 5-10 minute break in between the two chapters? I'm going to go make a sandwich real quick. I'm actually deathly hungry.
Let's take 5 or 10.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So I'm going to stop the recording. Bing! And we're back.
And we're back in the second chapter.
Where we last left our heroes, the finance guy with the deeds and the iPad just got shot in the head. Paco was falling down the elevator. Dragona and Charming Man are trying to cure Hot Dog Man. What's his name? Usagi. Usagi Aloha. I miss when we called him Hot Dog Man. I really do. I miss when we didn't know his name yet and he was just Hot Dog Man.
That's such a small... I love how that became his nickname for a while because it's in hindsight it's such a small moment of character.
Well, but Sonic the Hedgehog is Chili Dog Man. You know what I mean? A character's favorite food isn't nothing.
Yeah, but he ate a hot dog one time.
He ate a hot dog one time.
Hot dog man.
And now he's Hot Dog Man forever. That's awesome. Yeah, so anyway, Hot Dog Man's dying of brain rot. He's been on Twitter. He's been gooning too hard, and he's dying of brain rot. What?
He's been on TikTok. He's just letting it play.
He's been watching Finger Family videos. He's been watching Spider-Man and Elsa, you know? He's been watching Skibbity Toilet. He's just been letting his brain rot completely. So yeah, that's where we left everybody. Jodio is upstairs, Paco is downstairs in the elevator dying. Dragona and Charming Man and Usagi are over there. Bobby Jean and Lulu are on the same floor as Jodio, and deadly danger pours from above. Let's go, page 1. Oh, okay, so this was awesome. When I read this, I was so excited about this, actually. The secret story of the founding of Howler Co. It happened as follows. 5 generations ago, the great-great-great-grandfather of Akka Howler, age 42, had the last name Lestrato. He was a sailor who'd been born in Italy, but in 1843, he was in an accident at sea and washed up on Waipio village on the island of Hawaii. It's said that he fell in love with an island girl that helped him. He gained the trust and approval of the Hawaiian royal family, started a farm on the north slope of Hualalai, and married the girl. So this so far seems like Pocahontas or Dances with Wolves or something. You know what I mean?
Don't you miss how JoJo used to have villain backstories early on?
Yes, I'm really excited that we're getting this right now. This is pretty cool.
I think when did we get Valentine's backstory? It was halfway through the part, right?
Yeah, they didn't let us in on that. And then Toru, he was in the final moments. That was within the last 5 chapters that we got his backstory. And then it wasn't much of a backstory anyway. It was pretty bare bones. It didn't tell us a lot.
Pucci's, I think they sort of sprinkled it throughout, didn't they?
Yeah. Yes. We had a couple moments where we see what Pucci's made of, why he's like this, what his deal is. We had a couple of those.
You know what? I think Pucci might be the best JoJo main villain.
Really?
In terms of writing, yeah. 'Cause just the way that he feels like a real character in the world who is also just driven by circumstances to be in opposition to the main party rather than simply just being evil for evil's sake, and the good guys need to stop him.
Well, he does have that sort of that sort of he feels like he's the main character in his own story type of
Yes,
effect. You know what I
he
mean?
feels fleshed out,
He's the hero
basically,
of his own tale.
more so than like Dio or uh, Cars or
Yeah,
you know.
definitely more so than Cars. Part 1 Dio, I would agree. Part 3 Dio, I think that if you were to go
Dio
back and
got well,
reread the manga, he's
Dio got a
very weird.
major
He's very introspective. He's very like
Dio got a major glow up in terms of development from post mortem parts.
right. But I mean, even in part 3, his speech about the peace of mind that he desires, that all humans are searching for peace of mind, and that his can only be gained by eliminating the Joestars. Like, he was a very weird philosophical guy after spending 100 years straight at the bottom of the ocean in a coffin. Like, he's not just Cars, where he's just like evil. He had a weird, cool introspectiveness to him, and he was always like a deep thinker about stuff. I liked that aspect of Dio. And he has all these strange ideas about how the world works and about destiny and about what people's nature is. And he passes those on to Pucci. And I really like, everything that comes with when he asks him, do you believe in gravity? Like, I think Dio is a fantastically well-developed character. But I think that you're right in that a lot of that is post hoc additions. Like the shit we get from him in part 6 makes him so much more dynamic and interesting. Like, we see there's a part of him that's not just like, grr, I'm the bad guy, I love being intimidating and scary to my enemies. He's like, he's got a gentleness and sophistication and like a real beating heart, actually. So
And
I do
there's
agree with
also
you
like
that some of Dio's
with
shit came post hoc.
with Pucci, there's also like that connection to Weather Report that we don't see until like way into the part,
Right.
that like also makes him feel more attached to the world.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's not only like, I'm the big bad, that's my dog in this race. He's also got like personal stakes as well. And like that's something we never really see from a villain, that like someone close to them is involved. Well, I mean, I guess we have Diavolo and Trish, but he like explicitly
Yeah,
wants
but
Trish to get killed and die so he doesn't have a weakness. So it's not really a thing like that where like if Trish was in danger he would feel something. But like the well, I mean, I guess Pucci hates Weather Report. He wouldn't feel anything if he's in danger. But the point is, like, having somebody close to you as a piece on the battlefield just is scary. And especially Pucci knowing what Weather could do if he had his memory to take back. God, I'm so fucking I'm so yawny. But yeah, I'm quite enjoying the little info dump we're getting right here. So I think that it's pretty cool that JoJoLands is going to be tackling, I think, themes of like generational inherited wealth and like colonization and like paying for the sins of the father. Because like Aka Howler obviously didn't do any of this. You know what I mean? He's not the
this brings me
guy.
back to I shared this John Oliver bit with
Oh shit.
you and Casey.
Sorry.
It was the let me see if I can find that. God, it was a while back. Jesus. Where the fuck was it?
I don't know.
God damn. There it is. Yeah, the John Oliver bit on Hawaii. Look that up if you're interested in what we're talking about here. But like, they were talking about lava rocks and shit. And yeah, I was saying how like it reminded me of like when when we went to record in person for the season 1 finale. How we went to this place that had its own orchard,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we were getting the tour of the grounds, and
For context,
and
Chris is over in California and I'm in Arizona, and so I needed a place to stay that was relatively near him. But he's not like in a major city center. He's a little bit like out in the country. And so the nearest best place near to Chris, but also like convenient for me, was a hotel, but like more of like a wedding venue. Like they had like a beautiful orchard and they have like this big wide open space to have like events and stuff. So I chose to stay there just on convenience, on location. But then we get there and there's like a big fruit orchard. And immediately my mind is going to, oh man, somebody's going to burn this shit down. We got to burn this orchard down, dude. We got to prevent poor Tom from getting the Locacacast.
And I was saying in my messages with you and Casey how like I had that moment like from your perspective,
Mm-hmm.
watching this John Oliver bit on Hawaii when they mentioned the lava rocks.
Yeah, you had a very let's burn down this orchard type moment, but then no one to share it with.
There was no one around to share it with.
That's the thing, man. I knew it was cringe to just be like so consumed by JOJOLian that I just see a fruit orchard and I'm like, poor Tom. Like I know that's silly, but also you were there, so like there was somebody around who would get it if I did it. You know what I mean? I had permission. My brother in Christ and in JOJOLian was there with me. We should fucking meet up again. We should go back to that same place.
But anyway, John Oliver Hawaii bit talked about how like a lot of the land in Hawaii is owned by like these people who have like generational wealth,
Mm-hmm.
who like bought it or like stole it from the people who actually lived there.
Right. These are ancestral lands that you really shouldn't. No one should own them. He was talking about like there's sacred spots and stuff.
And so, like I was saying, Howler is basically the Zuck. He's Mark Zuckerberg.
Well, he's the grandson of Mark Zuckerberg, which I think is very interesting because I'm 100% sure. I mean, he already kind of did this based on the reaction that he had when he got off the plane and was confronted with all the bullshit that's happening to him. He kind of is like, what did he say fuck me for? You know what I mean? He's like, what did I even do? Like, he doesn't have any concept that he's a villain,
okay,
you know?
So that was alarming.
You okay?
My internet dropped out, and I you went silent because of my connection.
Oh, fuck.
So I missed part of that, but like whatever. We'll just continue. We'll keep rolling.
I was just saying that Howler doesn't even think of himself as a villain. He's got inherited generational wealth. He didn't himself commit these atrocities to get these resources. You know, not even atrocities, but like the way that this white guy washes up on the shore of Hawaii, marries a local girl, gains power, ends up taking the whole north slope of Hualalai for himself. Like, that's not Howler's sin. That's the sin of his grandfather 5 generations ago, his great-great-great-grandfather. And so I think it's interesting that Howler probably doesn't even consider himself as a villain. He considers himself just like a normal guy living his life. Like, he's lucky enough to be born into wealth, and he's got the private jet with the hot babes on it, and they're eating caviar and whatever. Like, I think that he's going to have a very much like, what did he say fuck me for? Like, what did I even do? Kind of reaction to all of this. So it's not only dealing with themes of generational wealth and like unethical business practices and fucking turbo capitalism and colonization. It's not only all of that, but it's also a sins of the father thing where like he's not even the one who did this. It's not even his fault. He was born into it just like Jodio and Dragona were born into their circumstances. And that's a very JoJo, right. Very Iraqi, very like the thread of fate type angle to take on it. I think that's neat.
But then he's rich, so fuck him.
Yeah,
right?
Well, he's got more resources than our characters, and our characters are our characters. They're our heroes, they're our POV. They're low down, hard scrabble rebels trying to just like make one big heist and get out of their economic circumstances. Howler's got the private jet with the babes and the caviar, so like fuck him. But I think it's interesting that he's actually not like a ruthless businessman himself. He's just the great 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 grandson of one.
It's going to be so weird when our characters, you know, or at least one of them, at least Jodio, you know, makes it big, it becomes rich, right?
Right.
Because you know, if the logic is like, well, he's rich, so fuck him.
Right.
Then, you know,
you're inviting the same disaster that you wrought upon someone else to get where you are, and that's capitalism, baby. That's what it's about.
Do you think Araki has it in him to do the villain turn for the protagonist?
I think that he's pussied out like 3 times in a row. Not in a row, but like not on the protagonist villain thing. Not on that, but he's pussied out so many times. Like the end of JOJOLANds, it seemed like the story was moving towards the family's going to turn against each other and there will be infighting and like Jobin versus Josuke. But that never happened. Araki didn't have the balls to draw/write that. The thing with Fugo, I just don't think he has the cojones. I don't think he's ever going to want his main character to be the bad guy.
I think the closest he ever got was when Weather turned into a homicidal maniac at the end of part 6.
Yeah, I mean, that was a full heel turn for a face, but we really don't ever get that in JoJo. Like, our face grows a little bit more darkly determined and willing to do horrible things.
Well, like also, like we talk about how like Araki is clearly drawing inspiration from stuff like Breaking Bad. Right?
Oh, sure. No, that's a good point.
We've confirmed that Araki has now seen Breaking Bad. You know, play the sound.
Stop! Can we get the Better Call Saul one in there? The blah, 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 blah. We gotta get that on the soundboard.
But like, you know, in Breaking Bad, there was like a moment, and like we can debate all day about when it was, where the audience stopped rooting for Walter White.
Where is that for you?
That's tough.
I want to know.
I think it would have had to have been when he hired the Nazis to kill Jesse.
Yeah, that's a pretty late point to draw it, but also there are still things that happened before that.
I don't remember the major like there's a lot of Breaking Bad that I don't remember right now. The obvious point before that is when he poisons Brock.
Right. But that's like it's all in service of exploding Gus's fucking head.
That was a tactical decision made to take out the worst guy.
You can almost you would never do that yourself, and you don't say good job, Walt, that was a smart idea, but you can almost forgive him for that a little bit. Like that's the worst thing that you can possibly excuse.
To use the man's own words, I admire the strategy.
Yeah. I think for me, the moment that I officially stop rooting for Walter is actually like in episode 1 of season 5, the Magnet Caper, when they're driving away from the Magnet Caper, and Mike is like, so do we have any assurance that actually fucking worked? Like, was all of that, did we actually do it? And Walt is like, yeah, it worked. And he's like, how do you know? And he's like, because I say so. That's the point at which I'm like, oh, this guy's lost. Like, he doesn't have any grounding. He doesn't have any connection to reality anymore at all. He literally thinks because he shot Jesse James that he's Jesse James now. That's the point at which I was like, oh, he's gone. Like, him winning against Gus is the worst thing that ever could have happened to this guy. Because when his life was in danger, he says some shit to Skyler like, I've done things and the consequences of those actions are coming, and only I deserve to experience the consequences of those actions, nobody else. Like, I need to pay the piper. Like, it's time. He's like actually able to evaluate the mistakes he's made in his life and be honest and real. And then as soon as he wins, he's locked it all back up.
You've watched or read Death Note, right?
No.
No. Okay. Then I'll have to dance around this a little bit.
Okay.
Because the end of the first half of Death Note.
Well, I do know that L dies, and then he gets replaced by somebody a lot less interesting.
So I don't have to dance around it. Okay, so L dying in Death Note is basically the equivalent of Gus dying in Breaking Bad.
Right, a victory the protagonist should never have gotten.
In terms of like the shift in character.
Right.
For the protagonist.
That makes sense. Like, it's the moment that they should have not been able to get past, but they have, and now they've lived too long, you know, like, for where the narrative has them.
I think if Breaking Bad had ended with Face Off, wouldn't that have been, like, just a good ending for everyone?
It's a sad ending, though. When he says into the phone, I won, he's almost like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? Like, he already figured out earlier last season that he should have died already and that he's lived too long.
Yeah, but it's also kind of the classic Western ending.
Oh, sure. Yeah, a big complicated emotion that you're left with.
Right off of the sunset.
Right, exactly. Yeah, a sunset and a big complicated emotion. That's a Western ending to me. Like the end of The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, or like, have you seen The Ballad of Buster Scruggs?
I haven't seen that, no.
Oh, well, for those who have seen it, Mr. Acker, or not Mr. Acker, that's from Better Call Saul. Mr. Arthur had no idea what he would say to Billy Knapp. That's just, it's so fucking, just walking over that hill and the sun is setting and just a big complex emotion that you have to go home with when the movie's over. Just a feeling in your heart that's unresolved. That's what a Western ending is to me. A sunset and a big complex emotion to reckon with when you go home. And that's the ending of Steel Ball Run, Christopher Merkel Studios. That's the ending of Steel Ball Run. A sunset and a big complex emotion.
Have you watched the Cyberpunk Edge Runners anime at all?
Oh man, I saw like the first 2 episodes of that, but I never watched the rest of it. I thought it was good.
Dude, if you finish that, that's a... Oh man. That finale left me empty for months.
Oh boy. Okay, well, I'll check it out then. Fuck, I mean, I was liking what I saw. I just didn't continue with it the rest of the way. But if it's getting such a good review from you, I'll definitely go back and watch the rest of that shit.
It is really a very, very much a, well, what the fuck now for, well, in terms of like the audience, because it's like, I don't know where to put these feelings.
Okay, well, it sounds good then. I'll probably watch it. We should get back to the chapter and make some fucking progress. What'd you say? Oh, D.
Yeah.
Back to the chapter right now. Alright, he fell in love with the island girl. There's no water sources. There's no rivers. The rainwater permeates deep underground and flows out to the ocean. An arid region of volcanic rock with no meadows growing on it. When Letrano was born with an intuition when he came to rain, he came up with the idea of digging tunnels horizontally. There are gaps inside the soil between volcanic rocks. There were places underground where rainwater had been accumulating. He built those tunnels on the north slope of Hualalai. Discovered a number of underground waterways and meadows flourished over the terrain of volcanic rock. As Letrado means howl in English, when the Hawaiian archipelago joined the United States, they changed their family name to Howler and launched Howler Farms. I love this clearly traced over picture of old-timey people that's in the front of that panel. In the 1960s, luxury hotels and villas for rich folks started being constructed. With the need for a reliable water supply, Howler Farm's water source suddenly attracted major attention. Politicians started giving the Howler Farm favorable treatment. Riding on the momentum, Howler Farms established the water resource and water power generation infrastructure company Howler Co. They extended their business into port rights, transportation, and the munitions industry. Yeah, so this is the point at which they become evil.
Weapons.
Right. This is the point at which they become evil. This is where they become Lockheed Martin. They become the Howler Co. that we know in the modern day. He's just got their finger in every pie, impossibly rich. I bet they're literally contributing to the genocide of the Palestinian people in universe right now. Legally, the North Slope...
It's like, yeah, you expand into every industry, you got more money than you could ever spend, and it's like, well, I guess it's time to sell things to kill people.
I mean, if you're in a universe where constant year-over-year profit is the goal, like the capitalist universe we live in right now, what better product is there to sell than one that destroys itself immediately upon use and you got to buy another, right?
That's
the bomb
capitalism.
is a lucrative industry, you know? Because you can't just buy a bomb and then just have it for 20 years like you can buy an air fryer. You buy that bomb, you use it, you need another bomb.
I wonder what the shelf life is on a bomb.
It probably differs from maker to maker. They probably give you a guarantee, like, you cannot fire this bomb for 25 years and it'll still be good. It won't be a dud yet. They probably give you bomb lifespan guarantees, because, like, you don't buy a bomb knowing that you're going to set it off tomorrow.
We're here to talk to you about your bomb's extended warranty.
We're here to talk to you about your bomb's end-of-life plan. Bomb Co. will be dropping support for your bomb in April of next year. Talk to us about upgrading or trading in your bomb. It's like, fuck, I had a bunch of black and brown people over there I wanted to use it on. Shit. I need to contribute harder to the genocide of the native peoples.
Need to upgrade to Bomb Plus.
I gotta pay my Bomb Plus subscription. I watched this great TikTok the other day that was like my life in late stage capitalism, and it was like, I wake up and I climb over my 19 roommates to get to the kitchen. Then I get hit with my morning thought advertisements. And he just goes through the whole day. He's a full-time plasma donor. That's his job. And then he fucking, at the end of the day, he's like, then my girlfriend breaks up with me because I couldn't afford my monthly girlfriend subscription. It's like, oh, too real, too true. I couldn't afford my monthly girlfriend subscription. Maybe I should become a live streamer and move into Zillowville. Then I could afford a Girlfriend Plus subscription.
Women be shopping, am I right?
Women do be shopping. Ever since I've been sort of like engaging with my femininity and enjoying being Zoe and living like this, I have in fact been shopping. I be shopping so much more now than I ever did before. And I'm doing like actual shopping. You know what I mean? Like, not like man shopping, where like you walk into the store and you're like, I know the one thing I need, and then you go get it and you go buy it and leave.
Oh my god, that was a targeted hit. That's exactly how I shop.
Yeah, that's how I used to do it too. Now I do girl shopping, where you just go in and walk around and look at stuff. You probably don't even need to buy anything today. You just start convincing yourself you should. Girl shopping is very much like, it's window shopping, but then you decide to buy something. You know, like you went just to look, but then you saw something and you're like, oh shit, that would look really cute actually, I have to have it. I've been putting together a lot of cute outfits and shit. I'm going to bartend in a cute outfit tonight. Normally I boy mode for bartending, but tonight when I go to Palo, I'm going to wear cute stuff. It's going to be fun.
Cool.
Anyway. Excuse me. Boip.
So let's see what else is going on with these arms dealers.
Yeah. Munitions industry. Legally, the North Slope of Hualalai was owned by the descendants of the royal family under the jurisdiction of the state of Hawaii, but in the name of supplying water resources, it de facto belonged to Howler Co., whether people liked it or not. This is also touching on a theme of, like, a business that's so big and so successful, it's more powerful than the government or God or anything. Oh, I'm so sorry. Currently, no one, not even state government officials or police, can come onto the northern slope without their permission. Even if people die or go missing on that land, even if dangerous substances, usually illegal munitions industry, were to be blown by that wind from that land to somewhere else and got discovered, this north slope belongs to the 6th generation head of the Howler family, Aka Howler.
It reminds me of when they go to the dystopian alternate timeline in
Back to the Future. I knew you were gonna say that. Everything is owned by Biff.
Where Biff's like, "Kid, I own the police."
Yeah. Exactly.
Did you know that in the dystopian timeline, Nixon is seeking a 5th term?
Whoa, that's crazy. That's such funny cultural commentary.
That's a little detail that you can see in the magazine the newspaper rather that Doc holds up, where it says that he's being committed to a mental institution. Hello?
Wow, that's crazy. I never got that. I don't think I knew who Nixon was and why that was funny when I watched those movies originally.
And so my headcanon is that Watchmen takes place in the dystopian Back to the Future timeline.
Oh, shit. Is Nixon still president in that?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's crazy.
He's on, like, his 5th term.
That's fucking awesome. Those cross over so beautifully. I, too, would consider those in the same universe, then. But, like, just that timeline. Not the regular, unbiffed Hill Valley. Watchmen doesn't take place there.
There's a problem with the theory in that it's in the dystopian timeline in Back to the Future, the Vietnam War is still ongoing, while in the Watchmen universe it ended early and the U.S. won because of Dr. Manhattan.
Right. He does the fucking he's like 30 stories tall and he's like walking in alongside the classic Vietnam choppers. I remember. I haven't seen or read Watchmen, but I know that shot. I know tall ass Mr. Manhattan walking through Vietnam with the choppers. Can he just modulate his size at will?
Oh, he can do a lot of stuff. He can.
Why doesn't he just become Galactus? Is he stupid? Thank you for laughing at that. The "is he stupid" meme always makes me laugh. Why doesn't Bowser just shoot Mario with a gun? Is he stupid?
He actually has an inbuilt reason for not doing anything, and that's that.
Nothing matters.
The way he perceives time is like he's looking at everything simultaneously. So like. Past, present, future, it's all the same shit to him, right?
Right. I know the bit where he's sitting on Mars and he's talking about I'm witnessing all of these moments at the same time. So from his perspective, he doesn't do anything unless it has to happen. It's like fated.
So if you ask why won't he just turn into a giant man and stop World War III from happening? And it's like, well, because he doesn't.
He's like, oh, I don't do that yet.
That's not supposed to happen.
All right, cool, makes sense.
He has the great line. We're all puppets. I'm just the only puppet that can see the strings.
That is a pretty good line. Shit goes hard. He could totally just become Galactus though if he wanted to.
He could.
He could.
But he doesn't.
The way you said that, like he's your child that you're proud of. He could.
Well, it was more like a he could, but he doesn't.
Okay. I like the idea that you're looking at him like that's my boy. He can do anything.
It's more like slight exasperation at wasted potential.
He could. It's like it's not that's my boy. It's like my son could be good at anything, but he just plays video games.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so this Aka Howler has an estimated $50 billion in assets. It's been extending its reach on the other 4 islands to gain even further power. I didn't notice when they fired the gun. Okay, so we're out of the villain info dump. And we are now back with Jodio in the fucking elevator. Or with Paco. And then now we're with Jodio. This shit fucks. This is an awesome chapter. It's like all action.
Still hanging around outside this elevator.
What?
Still hanging around outside this elevator.
Just still hanging out. It really is like the chairlift in the fucking Urban Gorilla arc. It is the thing of this arc. That elevator.
Do you remember in part 3 there's a politician in a taxi cab and Dio fucks with him a bit?
Yeah, his name is like Mark Simmons or something.
I bet Araki could write a whole arc that takes place in one taxi cab ride. Oh, he did! He fucking did! It's the fucking White Album.
White Album! That's true. And then isn't there a part in Highway Star as well where he's in a taxi?
Yeah, but that was like a brief part of the one
That's
fight.
true. But what you're saying is Araki's creativity is such that he could have an entire battle happen inside of a moving car and never need to change the setting.
Stationary car.
Well, the White Album car was moving for a while.
Yeah, but I bet he could do it with a stationary car too.
Well, he kind of did that a little bit with Mamazuku and Josuke getting arrested in the cop car. You know, that whole scene that takes place in the back of the car. I mean, I bet you could have a whole battle take place there. But that's actually one of my favorite moments from Part 8, when he's talking to Mamazuku about who he is and what he's about, and like he's actually figured himself out now and he knows what he wants, and then he just jumps out of the car and lets himself get hit by the November rain.
Do you know what the ultimate proof is that Araki could base an entire fight in one stationary vehicle? Is because another writer already did this. Stephen King's Cujo takes place entirely in and around a car that's broken down in the heat.
Huh. Cool. I mean, Rocky's at least as good as Stephen King. He could do that shit. No problem. I don't really know a ton about Stephen King. I just like Araki a lot, so I'm willing to just imagine that he's as good as famous novelist Stephen King.
But anyway.
Stephen King when Stephen Queen walks in. Stephen King when Steve McQueen walks in. No. Sam Bankman-Fried when Samuel Credit Union Jailed walks in. No. Rap Battle when Sandwich Peace walks in. I could just do these all day. I have a new running gag going with me and Robin where I will tell a joke that's not funny at all, and the silence that hangs in the air after it, and then Robin will say, "Waka waka," like as if I'm Fozzie telling terrible stand-up material. Here's an example. I like my sex like I like my tuna sandwiches. Purchased at the gas station and finished in my car. Waka waka. This is my new favorite thing. This is telling the most horrible jokes I could think of. Here's one. A group of dictators walks into a bar and orders everyone around. Waka waka. I'm just gonna let that one hang in the air. Oh!
God, that's so bad.
It's a great joke. A group of dictators walks into a bar and orders everyone around. It's great. Alright. Well, that's enough of that. Let's get off of my terrible Fozzie the Bear stand-up comedy and get on to the chapter. Anyway, this chapter's fucking awesome. It's like all action. Jodio is standing here. He's looking around. He's trying to figure shit out. He can't figure it out. He looks down at Bobby Jean, thinks nothing of it. Lulu drops her toy on the floor. And he looks down at her. Bobby Jean's got the pistol out. Now we're getting some dialogue. He won't stop flailing around. I'm pretty sure Usagi is already unconscious. I have my smooth operators going in through his nostrils. He's calming down. Hurry, charming man. Find the location. His life force is fading away. The smooth operators are inside. Jodio picks the toy up, gives it back to the girl. Nosebleed. She's taking damage. But then immediately Bobby Jean shoots him with the fucking gun. And then we're off. This is honestly like, this is so, not just because it takes place in a hospital. This is so like Josuke trying to shoot the wonder of you moving through the hospital hallways. You know what I mean? Except this time it's our hero who's on the run instead of on the attack. But it's very much like that to me. So the 2 bullets, Usagi's starting to break down. His brain's breaking down. It's the temporal lobe. Wernicke's area deep inside. One of them's already made it there. Caught it. Okay, fuck yeah. We got this thing. Its power isn't major. The operators can break it to pieces and drive it out. This fucking panel of Jodio looks awesome. November Rain. And those awesome Iraqi English lettering. So good.
It's kind of like a graffiti look to it.
Yeah. Like, it's cool art pop letters, like the way that they're angled and slanted and fucking different sizes and bubbly. Like, look at the word rain. Like the bigness of the top of the R and the littleness of the leg.
This is what's going to be the major loss when it gets animated. Is we're going to lose out on these cool little text things.
Cool lettering choices.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to lose a lot of stuff. Like, look at the panel right below that. The way that Jodio's, like, hair and head is comprised entirely of, like, push strokes, you know? Just like, instead of a straight line. We're going to lose shit like that, too. It's really cool. I honestly feel like manga doesn't even need to move or be colored to be awesome. Like, people should just read the manga. What the fuck are you waiting for the anime for? You're waiting for part 7 to be legalized.
The soundtrack, mostly.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the soundtrack is it. The soundtrack is where it's at. Hey, so what did you think of Jolene's theme in part 6?
I'd have to listen to it again for a quick refresher. Let me just do that. JoJo
Stone Ocean.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty good, yeah.
It was pretty good, but it was no Giorno piano.
It's no Golden Wind.
Boom, boom, ba da 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 down, 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 down.
Do you remember the part 5 really fast part where he fights Chocolata and like the finishing stroke?
Yes, the piano keys falling in. Bang, 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 bang. That's so good. That shit's incredible. I actually just want to go rewatch all of the But Really Fasts right now. Can we stop doing the podcast and just go watch Viva Reverie?
Well, we gotta finish this, but then you can watch them.
Yeah. I'll you know what? I'll put on my speaker and I'll play them on my speaker while I'm in the shower as soon as we get done with this. Those are great videos. I'm so glad you showed me those.
Not sure how I didn't notice that.
Not sure how I didn't notice that. Dude, that is her version of ignore that, ignore that, ignore that, ignore that. Oh, man. She's really talented. I'm so glad you showed me those videos.
She is, yes.
Anyway, the smooth operators are getting the bag's groove and, like, pinning it down and ripping it apart and shit. Jodio's getting hit by the bullets, but no, he's not, because we finally have a new awesome usage for the stand. The bullets come down, or the rain comes down with such force. The November rain is so goddamn heavy that it can alter the trajectories of bullets. So he can use it as a shield. This is so fucking cool to me. Not only for
This
all
is
of the
some
obvious
real.
reasons, but
This is some real. This is some real heavy weather.
yeah, it is heavy weather. But for the reason that the way that Jodio went from I'm using my so it's a lot like, do you remember in the Yotsuyu Yagiyama fight?
I wasn't ready.
Uh,
Hold on, do it
uh.
again. I'll have it queued up.
Well, where's the bell?
I didn't have it ready. Hold on. Do it. Cue me up again.
Sorry, I opened up the soundboard and tried to find the bell, but I don't have it. Only you have it because it's custom. But yeah, no, this reminds me a lot of what? What else but the fucking fight with Yotsuyu Yagiyama. Ring me that bell. Yes! Ring that bell. Anyway, this reminds me a lot of that when Josuke was like, oh, I'm not going to use my bubbles to defend anymore. I'm going to use them to attack. And he, like, does the first, like, exploding bubble. This is the opposite of that, where Jodio's been using November Rain in a purely offensive capacity this whole time. He's always been using it to try and shoot his enemies with the rain bullets. But this, for the first time, he's using it as a shield, which is really fucking cool. Like,
Actually, you would think that November Rain would make a better defensive stand than an offensive stand because it's easier to just make it rain down around yourself
right,
than it is
and
to
negate
try
attacks.
and shoot at an opponent on your same level.
Right. And the thing is, because it has to go down, or at least it has to be, like, matching the orientation of your body, it's gonna be harder to strike other people with it unless you're, like, above them. It's cool how much its design reminds me of Fun Fun Fun. Because it really is, like, if you want to hit somebody with it, you're going to have to be above them. It's a lot like Fun 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 in the way that you're going to need to be altitudinally superior to your enemy in order to take full advantage of your ability.
I'd like to see a fight between Jodio and, what was Fun Fun Fun's user again?
Ojiro?
Ojiro? Yeah, I'd like to see a fight between Jodio and Ojiro where they're just trying to get above each other.
They keep, like, leaving the apartment they're fighting in and trying to go up opposite fire escapes. Speaking of the fire escape, there's a great song.
Wait. No. The three-way battle, right? Jodio, Ojiro, and Chocolata.
Oh, boy, yeah, so then nobody can go down. Oh, my
He
God.
just comes up in a helicopter.
Jodio having to two-person fight at the same time, Chocolata and Ojiro Sasame would be fucking insane. That's too much. I don't even think you could win that in a JoJo-y way. Like, there's just no way.
It's not a 2v1. It's a
It's
Royal
a three
Rumble.
for all?
It's a free for all, yeah.
No, a three for all.
Ah.
That's what we call it when me and my two brothers play Smash together, and we're not on teams. It's a three for all. Anyways, this is a great fucking defensive use of November Rain. I'm so stoked about this. This is awesome. This is exactly what I want from a protagonist stand. Like, this kind of creativity. Of course the bullets can be used for defense as well. Of course. Or the rain bullets, I mean. Against the bullets. It's great. It's fucking creative. It's smart. It's awesome. This is the kind of shit I like to see. And I really like that we got two water types, 2 parts in a row for our main character stand. You know what I mean? We got bubbles and then rain. They're both water types.
Yeah.
Can we actually go through and give a quick Pokemon typing to each JoJo? I think Jonathan, easy, fighting type.
Well, Jonathan, I'd say
Fire type. Firefighting?
Fire. Yeah.
All right, so Jonathan's firefighting. What's Joseph?
Joseph, honestly, is also well, he's fighting, and well, let's just start by saying all of the JoJos are fighting type. First off.
Well, No, not like
No.
Giorno. Giorno, he's grass type.
Okay.
I would say that Jotaro is probably fighting in steel. Fighting steel type. Josuke is actually fairy type. You wouldn't think that, but he is.
That's fair.
He's got the vibes. He's fairy type. He's fairy fighting.
Well, his ability is healing, which is,
Yeah, Chansey does that. That's a fairy type.
Associated with magic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, Jonathan's firefighting. Joseph is question mark. That's up in the air. Maybe he's psychic type. Maybe he's psychic fighting.
He's a psychic type.
Yeah. Jonathan's firefighting. Joseph is psychic. Jotaro is steel and fighting. Yeah, psychic fighting, sure. Joseph is Jotaro is steel and fighting. I'm giving him steel because Star Platinum and also his sort of like steely Clint Eastwood exterior, you know?
Sure.
Josuke is fairy type. Giorno is grass type. I'm not even giving Giorno grass fighting because he's not really like... His stand doesn't punch as much as he uses his special abilities to win fights. So I'm going to give him grass type because he can make plants and stuff, you know? That makes sense to me. Jolene, what do you think for Jolene?
Probably steel fighting.
Probably steel fighting again, right? Yeah, well, she is Jotaro's daughter. What about Johnny? Johnny's a tough one. Dark?
Well, what does Tusk do basically? Like, what is the essence of Tusk?
Don't tell me that you love me. How don't now. Down, 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 down. Bow, 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 Tusk. Bow, 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 bow. I was trying to sing the Fleetwood Mac song Tusk that he's named after in order to try and glean something, but it didn't work. I got no information from doing that.
There's not really a wind type, is there, in Pokemon?
There's not. There is not. Flying type. But he's not flying.
No, he's actually the opposite of flying.
Oh, he's ground type. He's ground.
Oh, shit.
Johnny is ground dark type. Done. Easy. He's got dark determination and he's ground type. He's dark ground. He's ground dark. That's fantastic. And then clearly Josuke's water type and so is Jodio. Done. Easy. That was really easy. We went through and typed them all with very little effort. And then I kind of wanted to go back to what we were talking about a second ago when I brought up Jolene's theme. What are your favorite JoJo themes in order from best to worst?
I don't even remember the themes for Jonathan. Which one is for Joseph? It's the
coming through now. It's the Overdrive.
Yes, Overdrive.
It's Overdrive.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be.
Sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say the one for Jonathan is just like an orchestral hero piece. It's really boring. It's not memorable at all.
Yeah, that one's the worst one.
Yeah, sure. Jonathan's easy last place. Jonathan's the orchestral one. Joseph is Overdrive with Lotus Juice.
I really like Stardust Crusaders and
Bow, 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 bow.
I'd say Golden Wind and Stardust Crusaders have to be the top, right?
Right.
Diamond is Unbreakable probably comes in third. Maybe fourth. I don't know.
I honestly think that one deserves to be spoken of in the same breath as Stardust Crusaders and Golden Wind because it's like it's that guitar line that bow 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 bow. That's good, but the fucking keys that come in them boom 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 boom, like that's as good as the Golden Wind shit. That's iconic keys.
The problem is, like, in ranking these, you really have to think about the whole song, because like
Sure.
the pops are basically equal in value
Sure, the peaks of
among
each
all
one is
the
as
ones.
good as the other. But you're right, in the Josuke theme that I'm speaking of so highly right now, you do have to wait a long time for that good part. Golden Wind, they
Okay.
perfected it. They serve you that good part right as about at the right time.
I think it's gonna be yeah, Golden Wind, Stardust Crusaders, Mini Gap, um, uh, uh, fucking Diamond is Unbreakable, um, Stone Ocean, Power Gap, whatever the fuck Jonathan's theme is.
You left out Lotus Juice Overdrive. You left out Joseph entirely.
I forgot. I forgot Joseph. Damn it. Oh,
That shit goes hard. It was
um,
good when we first were JoJo fans and we were watching that first season. Joseph's theme went hard then.
I don't know. Put him above the Power Gap.
I would put him above Stone Ocean. Honestly, the only difference between my list and yours is that I don't have a power gap between the second place Stardust Crusaders theme and the third place uh, Diamond
But
is Unbreakable theme.
it's a mini gap
Yeah. I mean,
because
I just
because
I consider that closer to the masterworks that is part 3 and five's themes.
I consider 5 and 3 about equal to a greater degree than, say, 3 and the next one down.
Right. Well, they're both
That's why
fucking masterpieces. Like that
that's why I said mini
totally
gap.
tracks. Like that makes perfect sense. They're both really really good. Although I will say that the version of the part 3 hero theme that I like the most is the one that plays during the Derby
Part of
battle, the Kakero, the bluff. That one's so good because it has this like awesome like Egyptian like sitar flavor to it, but it also just is the Jotaro theme still. It's really good. Highly recommend any JoJo fans go listen to that on its own. Look up Part 3 Stardust Crusaders, the Kakero, the Bluff. It's really good. Anyway, back to the chapter.
back to
Beat,
the
delete,
chapter.
DDD.
Look
He's
at this.
deflecting the bullets.
Look at this pose that that Jodio hits when he's running. Right?
Swag. He looks like
Are
the
you looking?
icon, the exit
Yeah.
guy.
This looks like this is. I think this is going to be in the first opening for the anime of this.
Right.
Like just this run.
I mean, like, he's fucking booking it. This is a kind of, oh my god, you know what it is? You know what it is? You know what he's doing?
What's he doing?
The Joestar family secret technique. He's doing
Yes.
it. He's hitting the Nigarundayo. He's like, I'm out. Peace. I'm gonna just run. I wish the Joestar family secret technique had been a thing that continued to exist. But I guess it's really isolated to Joseph. Like, Joseph invented
no,
it.
no, no. Jotaro used it as well
Well, yes,
against
because that's
Dio.
what I'm saying. Like, Jotaro did that moment against, what was it, Yellow Temperance? The Yellow Devil? Whatever. Where he was like, there's a technique in my family that's been passed down for generations. And we all thought he was going to use Hamon on our first watch. And then he just says, Nigaru, run away! And punches a hole in the bottom of the thing and drops out. That was so
Well,
fucking funny. What a great callback to Joseph.
He also used it against Dio, right
Well,
away from him
sure, but
until it was time to approach him.
he didn't call it out by name and call it the secret technique like he did back then. But yeah, so if you don't know Joseph, of course you wouldn't know the technique. Josuke didn't know it. Giorno didn't know it. Jolene didn't know it. No one ever taught her the secret technique. She would just go in, no strings. Well, hella strings actually, but no strings attached. You know what I mean? She would just go in and go deep and go for it. That's something I
Too
always
bad.
thought was so cool about Jolene. Her Joestar intelligence appears to be innate. Like she doesn't actually have any battle IQ that she can access. She's not like smart. She's just got that dog in her. I thought that was always such a cool part of Jolene.
It's too bad nobody taught George the secret technique.
Aww. Well, yeah.
Wow.
Or Nicholas.
Which one was Nicholas?
Nicholas Joestar, Johnny's brother, the one that his father said God took the wrong son when he died.
Oh, Jesus.
The mouse scared the horse, and the horse trampled Nicholas, and he died. You remember that?
Yeah.
He could have used some Joestar family secret technique. Where's your get up and go, bud? Fucking wild horse charging right at you. You don't have any giddy up? You don't have any get out of the way in you? He needed the fucking secret technique more than anybody else.
And now Johnny can't use the secret technique.
Oh! 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 Yikes! Ooh, pulling at my collar.
Oh, spicy.
Dicey, even. Alright. So, he's getting his ass shot at, and he's fucking running away. He's fucking booking it. And, like, civilians are just getting dropped left and right. These 3 people all get shot and killed, which is crazy, because Araki is just, like, I think normally he's, like, a good-hearted mangaka and like doesn't want to draw such untasteful things, but right now he's just letting everyone get blasted. And like it's important. It's for the raising of the stakes. It's so we know just how bad the villains truly are, that they don't care about civilian casualties, so that we as an audience can accept it more when our heroes brutalize them at the end of this.
Our overseas listeners may not know this, but this is basically just what going to a hospital in America is like.
Right, even Hawaii. This is what the USA is like, baby. Just blasting. And the thing is, at least we have the decency to do it in the hospital, so you can get shot and then you're basically already where you need to go. We save you an ambulance ride, because those cost a lot of money here. Think about that. Next time you badmouth our wild 007 GoldenEye hospitals. It's very convenient. Okay, next page. Jodio is sprinting and ducking and diving and dolphin diving, and there's all these dead bodies now. There's all these people getting shot, and he keeps going. There's 3 more bullets. He dodges them. He almost gets clipped in the ankle, but he keeps going. We're going to have to erase our locations from the security cameras. They go look at Howler Coast. They want the assets, Bobby Jean. I can't tell you what's happening, but I know that we're going to lose if we don't take him out. That young guy, he seems sort of commander-ish. That's awesome. I really like how we're starting with a JoJo who's like not that guy yet. He's becoming that guy. Like we had that with Jonathan, but then like Joseph, we meet him, he's already him. You know, Jotaro, same thing. Josuke, same thing. Giorno, same thing. We get a little bit of the Haruno Shiobana on that one, but you know, same thing. Fucking
he's
Jolene, we get to watch her become that guy. Same thing with Johnny, same thing with Josuke. So then same thing with this.
He's not the guy, but he's capable of being the guy.
That's true. You are the guy. You are capable of being the guy. I have a guy, and he's you.
You are the guy.
You are the guy. Oh, I need to make that. That should be a YouTube poop. Mike tells Jesse he's the guy.
It's like the fucking low tier god. Your life is everything.
You should love yourself
Sure,
now. Yeah, exactly. I love low tier gods so much. I hate him. He's like a horrible person. But also like that clip where he says, mods, crush his skull. Thank you. The way that he gestures in the air, like round him up. And then he goes, God. He open palm, closes his fist. Mods, crush his skull. Thank you. Crush his skull. Thank you. He's incredible. He's an incredible specimen. What'd you say?
Real Shao Kahn energy.
Shit. I'm laughing, but my fucking green circle on Discord doesn't light up. Well, the people can hear it on the podcast. Do I need to be closer to the microphone? Shit.
No, I think it's just Discord noise gate, but I heard a little bit of a laugh. So
Okay, the mic
we're
keyed
good.
open for a split second.
Yeah.
I just don't want you to be living in a universe where you think that joke got dead silence when in actuality I'm cracking up. Like, if the joke gets
No,
dead silence, then it deserved dead silence. But I don't want you to think it's getting dead silence when it's actually getting a big laugh. The people on the podcast are going to know it, but you might not.
no, I heard.
But yeah, one of them has a lava rock. It's vital we collect it. Don't let him get away. Everyone eventually dies of an accident or illness, no matter who they are. It snaps the fucking cat head off the toy. Those guys went and stuck their noses where they didn't belong, and that's how we ended up where we are now. Smooth Operators has got this fucking thing. They're drawing and quartering it. They've got all the limbs pinned, and then all of a sudden, a bunch more bags grooves show up. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. This is that point in the JoJo fight where the stakes got to get raised, you know? We can't win just yet, so there has to be an additional complication, an additional twist. Makes sense to me. Inside Usagi's brain, it's not just one. Metal, the doll head, the magnetism, yeah. So she put some bags groove on the magnetic doll head and let that get shunk magneted to the door.
This next panel where the bags grooves are flying
Yeah.
around doll parts reminds me of fucking what was it? Shit, Sex Pistols.
Oh, yeah, where they're riding the bullets. Weirdly, it actually reminds me of Flash Gordon. You know, in the movie where he's like flying on like the scooter, hyperspeeder space scooter thing. But it's like 70s technology, so it really honestly just looks like he's staying in one place and like the background is moving around him. That's what these remind me of. They look like little Flash Gordons on little stationary space speeders while the background scrolls.
Like Return of the Jedi, like the
Yes!
the speeder scene.
Yeah. The original
That's
way
that's
that
my
was
point-
accomplished
that's my
with the
point.
OG special effects. That's what this
yeah,
looks
that's
like.
that's my point of comparison. I've never seen Flash Gordon, so I was trying to relate it to something that I have seen.
That's a perfect comparison. You're right on the money. I haven't really seen Flash Gordon either. That doesn't really take up like a big spot in my heart and soul. It was just I was closing the bar the other night. Because I bartend now on Sundays. I might have already been bartending 3 months ago when we did the last episode. But yeah, on Sundays I bartend at the Palo Verde Lounge, which is like my local watering hole. The bar that I always had been going to, you know, for the last like 2 years, where I made all these friends and met the people who ended up saying you should go to the Burning Man stuff. And then, you know, my life has changed as a result of that. I bartend there now, and it's pretty cool. I do it every Sunday. But at the end of the night, it was like 3 a.m, and I was just done cleaning the bar and putting the paperwork away. And there were like 3 regulars in there. It was Brian and Chris and maybe Mike or one other guy. No, it was Dan. It was Brian and Chris and Dan. And they were sitting there, and I was like, all right, guys, it's time to go. Like, we're way past closing. Like, let's get the fuck out of here. But Flash Gordon, the fucking movie, was playing on the TV in the bar. And they were like, no, wait, it's about to get to the song. It's about to get to the part where they play the song. And so I fucking sat there with them and watched like the last 30 minutes of Flash Gordon. So I have now seen some of it. And I gotta say, it's just like, it's incredible what sci-fi looked like before Star Wars. You know what I mean? Before Star Wars showed up and like decided what outer space would look like and feel like. Flash Gordon is like, it's fucking like, it's like fantasy. Like, it's a goofy cartoon. It's awesome. But like that the way that, even though Star Wars is a goofy cartoon also, it's got like that lived in realism, you know, like the spaceship's a hunk of junk. In Flash Gordon, everything is like shiny and new and metallic because apparently entropy and decay and rust stopped being a thing in the future.
That original trilogy, like, you watch it now and you're like, how did this get made back then?
I know, it's crazy. Like, say what you will about George Lucas, the man had a fucking vision, and he realized it, and it changed the world. Like, the idea of what outer space adventures looked like in his head became what it looks like in everyone else's head, too. Like, before Star Wars, sci-fi had, like, all these different weird ways that it was trying to look. After Star Wars, the main question you have is, when you're making a sci-fi setting, how am I going to make this meaningfully different than Star Wars? How do I not just ape Star Wars right now?
True.
Or Star Trek? But yeah, say what you will about the guy. He fucking had a vision and he executed it, and it changed the world. I want to go watch those 3 movies again. Those movies fucking rule. How many good Star Wars movies are there? 3 or 6? Because it's either 3 or 6. It's definitely not fucking 9.
I used to be really hard on the prequel trilogy, but now I realize, that's just George Lucas unfettered, right? That's just more of his vision that was allowed through onto the screen.
Right, because there was nobody in his ear going, "Hey man, I don't know if people are gonna like that."
And now we've seen what no George Lucas does to a motherfucker.
What 3 years of no George Lucas does to a motherfucker? I'm Ray Skywalker. Oh, man. Yeah, the thing is, like, those movies, those original Star Warses, even the prequels, they were made by a guy who had an idea, and he was, like, trying to do that to the best of his abilities. And say what you will about, the success of the prequels and how good or bad of movies they are, but he was like a man with an idea trying to make a film he wanted to see happen, as opposed to, like, we own this intellectual property. How do we get people excited about a new installment so we can make money? I'm sure he did need to make money because Marshall Lucas, the divorce and all that, he needed to make the prequels. But also, like, it's a guy with a vision. Like, I appreciate that much more than a boardroom every single time, every day of the week.
I think the best, like,
way to think about it.
I don't want to say indicator of quality, but like the best thing to take away is that today the prequel trilogy has been so heavily memed that I think it's every single scene from the prequel trilogy has a meme associated with it.
Pretty much.
Right? And the sequel trilogy has what? 2 or 3?
They fly now.
And they're not even that funny.
They're not good. They're cringe memes. We bring them up, and it makes you go, "Oh, don't make me remember that."
Their corporate wants you to make this meme.
Right. It's the same meme. Meanwhile, every single fucking moment from the prequels and from the originals, even something as small as, "It's an old code, sir, but it checks out." Even something as small as that is a meme. Like, every single corner of these movies is iconic. Even fucking the parts that, the cringe memes of the prequels. Like, I hate sand. Like, even now, we're like, you know what? I hate sand too, buddy. Like, I'm with you. I don't like sand either. We've come around to... I always say the greatest thing that the Star Wars sequels ever did was that they caused a cultural reappraisal of the prequels and made people be nicer to them. Because, like, we unfortunately, we didn't get 3 new awesome Star Wars movies. We got maybe, like, 1.37 awesome new Star Wars movies. But the new trilogy overall sucked. However, we did, for some people, debatably go from there are 3 good Star Wars movies to there are 6. It's just not the new ones that got added to the list.
And it's like the stuff that's like the spin-off territory, like Rogue One and
fucking
the
hated that movie.
You didn't like Rogue One?
Nope, not at all. I'm a certified Rogue One hater. I think it's as bad as Solo.
I thought it was okay.
I didn't like it. I watched it on an airplane, and I was like, that was it? That was all that was. That was a fart in the wind, man. That movie did not need to be made. Like, that was a waste of my time. I understand, like, that's what I'm signing up for with a story that's, like, the characters are all doomed, everyone's gonna die by the end. But, like, what the fuck was that? What were we doing? I was on the plane, so I guess I couldn't enjoy it properly because I understand that I'm supposed to be actively masturbating when Darth Vader is walking down the hallway killing those guys. But I was on the plane and there were people around me, so I couldn't just be jacking it. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't care for it. I didn't like Solo either. I don't like any of these fucking spin-off in-between movies. I don't think they've made a good one yet. I didn't like the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and now I'm done. I'm not keeping up with this shit anymore. I'm not watching Acolyte. I don't care. Star Wars is dead to me.
What about Andor?
Didn't watch that either. I heard that was really good, though. I heard that was actually the exception, and that one's actually worth checking out, but I did not watch it.
Okay.
But I might. Like, if I'm going to watch any of those shows, that's the one.
I haven't watched any of the shows, full disclosure, because fuck paying for Disney Plus.
Oh, sure. I mean, I would never even consider watching any of this shit if Mom/Luke didn't already have an existing Disney Plus account for me to just piggyback off of. I'm not going to pay for that myself, but if somebody else has got the account, sure, maybe I'll watch The Falcon and the Winter Soldier or whatever. Yeah, I started watching Invincible. I've only seen like the first 2 episodes, but it was okay. I don't really like it that much, but I just needed something to watch, and I was like, you know what, I never saw that, and I hear people talk well about it. And, like, you know, the first episode is good. It's this whole bait and switch where he's like a kind, loving father, but then he massacres the Guardians of the Globe at the end. And then you start up episode 2, and you're like, okay, this show has already blown its wad. Like, what can it do to keep me impressed and keep me watching at this point? Like, I know that Omni-Man killing everyone thing was going to happen, and, like, now that it's happened, what do you really have for me? And then episode 2, he, like, tries to be a hero and fly into the battle and, like, fight these aliens coming through the dimensional portal. And he actually just, like, gets immediately shot with a concussive blast, and his ears are ringing, and, like, he tries to save a lady, but she's, like, already dead. So I was like, okay, you've already blown your wad. What do you have for me, show? But then it did a pretty good, genuinely, like, it kept up the thing that it's trying to do, which is that it's trying to subvert you. I hate using that word and those terms because people say that too much and now it doesn't mean anything anymore. But, like, the way in which it is trying to be subversive of superhero tropes, it continues to be. I've only seen the first 2 episodes, but episode 2 at least impressed me and instilled in me, like, oh, okay, so I'm actually not allowed to sit back in my chair and go, no, yeah, I know what's going to happen. I'm not allowed to do that yet. Like, I actually don't know what's going to happen. The show's keeping me on my toes, which is always a good sign. So I'm willing to say, at this point, 2 episodes in, it's a pretty good show. But I will have more to say once I'm done with it. Maybe we can talk about it next episode. I'm assuming you've seen it.
Now, question. Don't reveal anything yet.
Sure.
But the first chapter and a half of my story that you got to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Better or worse than Invincible episodes 1 and 2?
I have I have a little bit of a critique. I like what's happening in these first 2 chapters. You've got me. There's a hook that I'm definitely interested in biting on. Like, as an audience member, you've got me. I think I want the structure to be a little bit different. Because I'm reading this, and I'm thinking to myself, like, this is episode 1 of an anime, or of a show, or, like, this is the opening of the movie. And I'm trying to think about, like, what's hooking me about this. And I think you've got something hooky. I feel like maybe we could rearrange just slightly. For example, I want more from these moments. They're great moments. I just want to be able to chew on them for a little bit longer. But I think you have something. I think in the same way that Invincible has something hooky that makes me want to turn the page, you have that as well.
So it's got potential is what you're saying. I'm going to have to cut out most of that because there's spoilers.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, I kind of was just telling you my honest feelings from my soul instead of moderating it for the podcast. But yeah, check out Chris's creative writings when he has them published. I just got a little sneak peek at the upcoming chapters, and you may have just been skipped over a little part of the podcast because I started talking spoilers about it. But yeah, definitely give that a look. Support our boy, our hometown hero. Check out his writings, and I'm gonna type up a little bit more detailed my thoughts on the sneak preview that I got, and I'll send that to you later.
Let's get back to the chapter, shall we?
We gotta finish this shit. Yeah, okay, we're pretty near the end. Yeah, the clock just struck 4, so I actually really gotta go and start getting ready for the rest of my day. But yeah, let's get through the rest of this chapter. The little guys are flying over on the fucking Star Wars speeder, Flash Gordon scooter. And then Bobby Jean is walking down the hallway with his fucking silenced pistol. Really goddamn cool looking panels. I hate his stupid pants, though. His pants look so dumb. His fucking jorts he's wearing. Down the hall to the right in basement floor 1, there's a dead end. 2 doors, one to the left, one to the right. Don't fret, he's a boy. He's gonna hide and launch a counterattack. Which door would he take? Oh, so it's the boys' bathroom and the girls' bathroom.
Yeah.
So he goes into the girls' bathroom first. But Jodio is behind him. It's fucking awesome. Jodio outplayed him. He outthought him. He, like, you know, expect the unexpected. But then Jodio was like, nah, I'm going to do the expected because he's going to expect the unexpected. Outplayed. So he says, take this. But then bullets fire out of Bobby Jean's arm somehow. And, like, not even in the direction the gun is pointing. Which is fucked up. So then Jodio tries to, like, dodge and escape. He calls down some November rain to block and deflect. He's already fired in this direction. That's crazy. This is an awesome panel. Bobby Jean firing all the bullets at him point blank, and November rain, the curtain of rain, just deflecting them all. And then his feet zip and disappear around the corner. He drops a magazine, puts another one in.
That's the best silencer in the world.
Yeah. It's crazy how fucking good the silencer is. But yeah, so he zips around the corner. Bobby Jean drops the magazine, puts a new one in, goes into the boys' bathroom, starts shooting at the urinals, and then he's looking at the stalls. Jodio's on top of one of the toilets inside the stall, but then all of a sudden, what now? I can't breathe. It couldn't be a pulmonary edema. Then, in my heart, the cold-hearted pursuers attack from inside and out. To be continued. Series will be on hiatus next issue. Series will resume in the Ultra Jump December issue, which goes on sale Wednesday, November 19th.
And thank goodness for that hiatus, because it meant we didn't have to do a 3-chapter episode.
Yeah.
Lordy.
But hey, you know what? We made great time. We got through both chapters. The first recording before we took that little break in between was an hour. This one's an hour and 23 right now. 2.5 hour episode of the Locacacast. Nice, fucking neat, trim, good.
Finishing thoughts?
Finishing thoughts. The battle's going to end next chapter, for sure. I really don't see this stretching on longer than this upcoming chapter. If the upcoming chapter is just like more of the fight, but no resolution, I would be extremely surprised. This is the point at which it feels like things are the worst for our heroes that they can get. Paco's fucked up, Jodio's fucked up, Dragona and Charming Man are fucked up. They're trying to save Usagi, who's ultra fucked up. So I think that the battle is definitely going to end next chapter. I'm really excited about the themes of capitalism and fucking inherited generational wealth and the sins of the father and, you know, all of the sweet thematic stuff that we got when we got to see colonialism as well. All of the sweet thematic juicy stuff that we got in the Howler's great-granddad Letrado flashback. I'm stoked about all that. Really, really, really want to see some Paco backstory, but I really don't think we're going to get a Paco flashback unless he's dead, unless he's about to die, and he's like about to sacrifice himself. So, there's that. I think Usagi is going to survive just because the Mate Kudasai feels like it's going to be incredibly useful to the team. Even though Usagi looks like pretty dead at the moment, But also, like, if we did all of this and came into the hospital and fucking risked our necks and all got pulmonary edemas and shot with slow bullets just for Usagi to not make it, that would be pretty upsetting. So I think he's going to live for that reason, and also for the reason that I really want the Mate Kudasai to get bigger.
His stand has way too much untapped potential
to
die early.
Tons. Like, he absolutely needs to stay alive. Not just for utility for the crew, but, like, if Araki is writing a stand ability like that that's so versatile, he's going to want to use it for as much cool shit as he can come up with. And I just don't think the character or his stand ability has, like, gotten to the end of his relevance or usefulness or enjoyability to come up with ideas for, or enjoyability to draw. I don't think he's at the end of the tank on any of those things with Usagi. So I don't think he's dead. For sure, no. What about you? Predictions? Final thoughts? I loved this chapter. It was really good.
I think we've got more than a chapter to go in this fight. And
you don't think it's going to end next chapter?
The reasoning is we don't know much about Agent Bobby Jean or Lulu at this point.
Okay, but, like, how much did we learn about Urban Gorilla? You know? Like, we don't have to...
That's a fair point.
I mean...
So either the fight goes on, I think, for 2 more chapters, or one or both of these people will survive the end of the fight.
Maybe. It would be really cool, actually, if just Bobby Jean got killed, but Lulu sort of got away to, like, get back to HQ and report. So we'll see her again later. Because honestly, like, Bobby Jean, while he's cool, I think we've reached the end of, like, the depths of his character. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think we're really going to learn much about him. I think he's just going to be this guy with a mustache and gun. Like, his power isn't that unique or crazy. Like, I know that it's supposed to be that the bullets move slow and he can change their speed and that you can't hear him shoot and he can shoot backwards. But honestly, this is just a guy with a gun. So I think if he just got, like, outright killed and was never in the story again, that would be totally fine with me. I think that Lulu, if she got outright killed, first of all, even though she's, like, a bad guy, I would feel a little bit sad about watching a little girl get shot in the face. And I think that it would be way cooler to have Bobby Jean outright die and to have her, like, get away, report back to HQ, and then she can sort of boingo it up later with a new whole horse. You know? Like, she can come back.
Gotta give her the Death 13 baby treatment.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. I don't think she should die. I think she should have to, like, eat shit and go away forever.
Do you think our protagonists would kill a child?
No, they're too young. They're babies themselves, basically. They would look a kid in the face and be like, well, you're just like me. Like, you're not grown up yet. Like, I'm not going to do that. I think if our characters were adults, there could maybe be a question. Like, Johnny Joestar might shoot a baby in the face. But I don't think Jodio and Dragona are going to be down with that. Because they're kids themselves. Like, let's be honest. Jodio's, what, 15? Dragona's 18? I'm older than all of these kids. Like, we are older than the entire party.
I think one of them should do it, and the rest should be like, "What the hell?" And
Todd style.
And the one who does it is like, "What? She was trying to kill us."
You saw her. She was reaching for a gun. She was reaching for her doll, Paco. Oh, well, the doll's shaped like a gun. No, it's not. Everyone's freaking out. That would be funny. Okay, next time on the Locacacast, the conclusion to the fight, maybe, and maybe some baby murder. We'll see ya.
See you later.
Bye-bye! Bobby Jean, Paco, Lulu, Paco, Jodio, Bobby Jean!